I don't know if junk was ever as good as it is with the new Transformers Legacy Evolution Junkion Trashmaster. He's going to be our focus in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you are at it, light up my baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that is in the description down below and also in the description down below. And if you happen to be in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. And this is, in truck mode, Trashmaster. And I'm starting him in truck mode just because I like the heft of how this feels in the hand. Great robot, and of course as we go through we will do the transformation from robot to truck because that's honestly the way he comes in packaging. I'm also going to show some of his bits and pieces on G2 Leadfoot, because why not? I'm going to say it now, and I'm probably going to say it again. I'm not planning on reviewing the bludgeon or the Dreadwing of this particular wave, but I will give a couple of thoughts on them via Tarn and Skyquake when we come back here for the outro at the end of the actual review. But as it is, this is the first foray of a Junkion into the Voyager class scale. Plus we know that he's able to pull off Junkosaurus, which we'll look at in a separate video. What about Trashmaster himself? Just how good is he? Well, we're going to head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. And with the Legacy Evolution Deluxes out of the way, now we're going to take a look at this. This is the first Junkion Voyager, that being Trashmaster. Just so we're clear, I'm not planning on looking at the bludgeon. If it happens my way, cool, but I'm not buying it. I adore the mold. If you want to know my thoughts on the bludgeon, check out my Tarn review. That was episode 1044. I'm also not planning on looking at the Dreadwing because I looked at Skyquake, and again, you know, my thoughts are pretty much going to be the same. A little bit different, but pretty much the same. That was episode 1072. I think both are great, but you gotta kind of know when to say when sometimes, right? But we are going to look at this guy, and I'll tell you now that the way I'm going to do this is we're going to look at this guy, and in a separate video I will kind of show my version of the Junkosaurus combiner. It's a little bit different than what some people have done, but again, that'll be a different video. So this is going to be kind of the basics of this guy. With all of that said, we're going to get him out of the way and look at that packaging first. And here we have Trashmaster's packaging with him being a trash truck on the front. On the side we have a close-up of his face and his body, of course, down here. Over here our typical Legacy Evolution artwork, and on the back we have the robot mode, the truck mode. We also have how you can take out the bottom pieces. By the way, those front bottom tires become like pieces of the shoulder in my Junkosaurus mode. But you can take those off if you want and use different front tires all together by Evo Fusion. Here they're using axle greases front. But I mean, use what you like. And up here you can see the pieces that do come apart if you want to incorporate them on other characters. Our guy comes with a pretty decent set of instructions. They weren't perfect, but they were okay. And now making his way to the table, hailing from Junkion, weighing in at 169 grams. A nice hefty Voyager, by the way. We have Trashmaster. Why did I do that sort of introduction? Because Trashmaster, while he does TV talk, as the rest of the Junkions do, his are basically all like wrestling catchphrases and quotes and that sort of stuff. So he'd be like, you know, what you gonna do when Trashmaster runs wild on you? Or like, oh yeah, Trashmaster's here for the madness. Or I don't know, can you smell what the Trashmaster's cooking? Like, you get the idea, right? But he's a big boy who is essentially the torso of Junkosaurus. I'm very, very happy with both his size as well as the amount of paint. Like, there's a fair amount here. The red, the silvers, their paints. maybe some of the grays, but certainly the reds and silvers. And I like overall I like the look of this. Let's do the scores for the guy for looks, because we don't really have any other reference for Trashmaster other than the dude's Junkion. I don't know, we're gonna say it's a 10. In terms of the articulation, we have a head that goes left, right, a little wiggle up and down, but not much. Arm goes all the way around, out to the side. Elbow over 90 degrees, bicep swivel, wrist rotation. So very, very functional arms. By the way, I was forever and a day trying to figure out how this went on this arm. There's actually two pegs, and I found that I had to put the inner peg in the hand to get these wrist blasters through and the outer peg on the outside. I also need to position it just right so that I can still bend the arm. And you know, this opens and closes if you want it to give you some chomping action, we'll say. With the arms out to the side. These hip pieces can come up. That gives us a full-fledged flowing waist, which I personally like for doing them German suplexes and whatnot. Leg all the way forward, getting this whole butt chunk out of the way. You can get the leg back that far. By the way, yeah, there's a lot of chunk back there. Again, if we get these up and get these up, the legs can go pretty much all the way out to the side. We have a thigh swivel that's kind of tight, 90 degrees at the knee, forward and back at the toe, and ankle tilt. And the ankle tilt's quite tight. The dude stands like an absolute champion, even though we do have all of this here on the back, which I don't like. I wish that that was handled better somehow, but I mean, it is what it is. Again, you could take those pieces off if you wanted and put them somewhere else. I mean, just because they're in down here don't mean you can't take them off and put them up here, or I don't know, wherever else there's some 5mm pegs on the side of the leg or something maybe. I don't know. But most of the articulation I would want is there. I wish the head was able to move just a little bit more up and down than what it does. Now, I guess up it can really sort of do, because it sort of flips back in the body, but you're kind of breaking the sculpt to accomplish that. 10 for the look. For the articulation, I'm going to give it a solid, because he's so sturdy and stuff, I'm going to give it a solid 9.5. I wish the head was able to move just a little bit more. That's it. Other than that, this guy's pretty fantastic. So 9.75 so far. We're going to do the transformation to his vehicle mode, I guess. Actually, I suppose I should sort of show what some of his parts when they come off of him can do. Something sort of like this. You know, yeah, something like this. If this is sort of your thing, it gives him platform shoes, or you could fill in the bottom here. They can go up on the shoulders if you want. You can give the claw blaster to someone. You know, I mean, this is G2 Leadfoot, by the way. I just happen to have him on hand, and how often do I get to show him off? Plus, he's beautiful. But yeah, something like that if you want. I digress. Let's get back to the robot mode and do the transformation proper to truck. All right, let's hope that I can do this easily. I'll also note this. I said a 9.5 for the articulation, and I stick to it. But I also forgot to mention that because of transformation, we do have a butterfly joint back. So I guess that's an unintended but extra hinge. So, you know what? We'll throw it in there. Okay, so the transformation, we're going to take this off. The lower jaw on mine likes to come out. It's easy enough to kind of push back in, but you might want to note it on yours if it comes out or not. But we're going to lay that aside. The transformation. Okay, let's see if I can let's see if I can remember how to do this. The feet, they fold up. I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to turn all of this around. Okay. And then these should be able to come in on the side. For the record, this is a bit different when we do the torso of Junkosaurus, but I'll talk about that when we get to that in a different video. I'm going to put both of these legs together, and I'm going to angle these down. I'm going to take the head and push it back, and I should be able to pick that up and then split the abdomen here and bring all of the front of the vehicle up and in to snap up underneath. Okay? So if you had, lay that aside for now. So if you had different front pieces, you could take these two front tires off, and using the peg holes that are in there, you could put in the front of axle grease or, I don't know, toe line or whoever it is you want, really. Okay, the arms. They will come back. I have to, there we go. They're going to come back. Or am I supposed to already have those in? Maybe I'm already supposed to have those in. Let's undo the front here and bring this up. I'm probably already supposed to have the arms in. Yeah, I think so. And we turn them like that. They lock in right here. I wish that this panel was painted silver like this panel. Same over here. We're going to bring the arm forward. We're going to turn this around, bring it to the side, and bring it in under. I'm going to lay these out to the side for now, and we're going to make sure that that's locked in, and then we're going to solidify both of those arms together. Now that I've got that done, I can bring up this lower body, and when we do so, there's a number of locking tabs and ports along the arm, and bring this up on the front and snap it in. I'm going to bring up, do I have this the right way? No, I think I have this on the wrong side. I'm going to bring that over here, up over the top. And then for over here, I'm also going to bring it, put it in that hole above the gas tank and bring it up over the top. We're mostly done here now. And the only thing that should be left now is to take this piece and slide it down into both hands, but I have a feeling I'm supposed to actually turn the hands, but that should be the last thing. I'm going to get this piece put on the very back here, and then we'll take a look at the truck. And here's our truck. It rolls like a champion. I didn't really specify it. I said that the arms lock into the legs with some tabs. Specifically, on the underside of the arm, there are two, I think it's horizontal, rectangular tabs, and they go into slots on the feet. There's probably a couple of locking points here on the side too, if I'm not mistaken. Honestly, I didn't point it out because all I do is take the arms and the legs and I jam them together, and luckily, thus far, every time I've transformed him, they always line up very smoothly, very easily, and they just lock in. I was also incorrect. I did not have to turn the hands around. I just had to straighten them up. They were a little on slant. I just had to straighten them up a bit, and the two pegs that are there go into the two hands. For the record, when you're doing the Junkosaurus mode, or at least my Junkosaurus mode, this whole piece comes off, and this brown piece here also has two holes in it that line up with the two pegs up here as well. Everybody says that they feel like that this will become an animated Junkion wreck car. I mean, I guess I can sort of see it. It'd be a little bit of a stretch, but for Trashmaster, I think this is pretty neat. This is a bit weird on the back, but again, the dude's made it of junk. What more do you expect? The transformation is very smooth, very easy. The guy was getting a 9.75. I think that the transformation is, quite frankly, quite easily a 9.5, maybe also a 9.75. Overall, Trashmaster for the first foray into a Voyager Junkion is fantastic and clocks in with a final score of about 9.5 to 9.75. What more could you ask for out of a Voyager Junkion? And here we are once again, and here is the trash-talking Trashmaster, and survey says one more for the good guys. This guy's great, honestly. He's really, really good, and I'm impressed with him. Solid in hand, good heft, good paint, good articulation, good joints. A really kind of intuitive transformation once you've done it once or twice. A couple of weird accessories, but they certainly fall in line with the whole junk concept. Ain't no doubt about that. And you know what? It makes for a pretty respectable torso, which we'll see another time around. That being said, just as a little caveat, this is Tarn being reused, recolored for Bludgeon. I think that this is a contender, and a lot of people have said it's a contender for Toy of the Year. The mold is that good. Now, some people have said he's too skinny, I don't like it. For a martial artist especially, I think that it will work quite nicely. The head of Bludgeon is okay. More than a skull, it's more like a metallic skullish face. It is the Alex Milne, I think, design, if I'm not mistaken. So you gotta be an IDW fan to like that look for Bludgeon. But if you're in for it or you're on the fence about it, especially if you didn't get Tarn and you don't have this mold, do yourself a favor and get it. It's tremendous. Then we get to, not Skyquake, but Dreadwing. And Dreadwing is basically this guy in blue with some, I think, gold detailing around here. He has his yellow goldy face and whatnot, but it's pretty much the same thing. This is a splendid leader class. And I said when I done the review of this guy, if you don't get Skyquake, do yourself a favor and get some version of this mold. I have heard that there's a little bit of reworking around the waist to make the transformation a little easier. I don't know if that's true because I heard that from a fan. When I inquired to some people that would be a little more in the know about design and stuff, they didn't indicate that there were any changes. However, for the love and honor of all that's good, right, and holy in this world, do not cut anything on this guy. It's all about doing the transformation correctly. Both of these molds, really, really tremendous. I think the colorations on both of them, you know, the Bludgeon is what I would expect, and the Skyquake is really what I would expect. But back to this guy. Yeah, I think that he's a star, and I can't wait to show you, not in the next video, video after next, or review after next, I should say, because there might be other videos in between. But I do look forward to kind of showing you my version of Trashmaster. It's probably not the version, but it's my version, and it's fairly stable, all things considered. Versatile, looks great. He's the trash, and he's awesome. Let me know what you think about Legacy Evolution Trashmaster. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you are in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, please hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel, and especially don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.